everyone, and welcome back to another Sun and Moon deck building video. My name is Bodhi, and today we are going to be looking at Umbreon GX, the new GX from the Sun and Moon Pokemon TCG series. Before we can look at Umbreon GX itself, however, we first need to take a look at its basic Pokemon, which is Eevee. Eevee has an ability called Energy Evolution, which states once during your turn, when you attach a basic energy from your hand to this Pokemon, you may search your deck for a card that evolves from Eevee with the same type as the energy card and evolve Eevee into the chosen Pokemon. Now, what makes Energy Evolution Eevee so good is that it bypasses normal evolution rules, meaning you can do it on the first turn of the game if necessary. You can also do it every other turn of the game, of course, if your goal is to get multiple Umbreon GX out during the game, which will definitely be your goal. Eevee has 60 HP, which makes it a very strong basic Pokemon. It's not going to get knocked out very easily if you do have an Eevee sitting on the bench or anything like that, and it's only going to give up one prize. Moving along to Umbreon GX now. Umbreon GX is a Stage 1 200 HP Dark Pokemon that is weak to fighting. You will be able to see it on the screen there. Its first attack, Strafe, switches this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon, so you can get out of the active spot on the first or the second turn of the game before you set up your strategy. The main reason that Umbreon GX shows so much potential, though, is its second attack, Shadow Bullet, which is 90 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon and 30 damage to one of their bench Pokemon. This, in combination with some cards we're going to talk about later, including more Eevee evolutions, is going to be a very strong attack, and the main reason why I think Umbreon GX is going to see a lot of play going forward. Dark Call GX discards 2 energy from your opponent's Pokemon in any way that you like. GX attacks, as we know, can only be used once per game, but this is a fantastic option for the late game if your opponent is struggling to get last KOs to knock out the rest of your Pokemon. You are able to get rid of their last energy and take a knockout. Moving along to the deck building discussion now, I want to give you guys 2 options for uses with Umbreon GX going forward. Of course, there are going to be plenty more Umbreon GX strategies that develop over the next few months, but before Sun and Moon is officially released in tournaments, these are the 2 options that I can see for you guys. The first deck building option we're going to be talking about is pairing Umbreon with Evolutions from the Ancient Origins set. Umbreon GX usually has a damage cap of just 90, with 30 damage placed onto the bench, but with the potential added damage from Jolteon, Vaporeon, and Flareon, you're able to hit for 180 damage against 4 different types of Pokemon. This deck will look to take advantage of weakness more so than many others have in the past to secure knockouts, and will need to play a good amount of these evolutions to ensure you can draw into the ones that you need. This deck can potentially be played with Espeon GX and Rainbow or Psychic Energy as well, to give yourself an additional weakness to hit for, as Espeon has similar damage to Umbreon. Espeon also has the added bonus of a second GX attack to add to the deck, making it unpredictable and giving you a skill-based decision to make in the later stages of the game. Do I use Umbreon's Dark Call GX to discard my opponent's energy, or do I use Espeon's Divide GX to place damage counters on my opponent's Pokemon? These are the kind of things you have to think about when deck building, and that is why I think Evolutions, the Jolteon, Vaporeon, and Flareon option is going to be very strong for Umbreon going forward. The second deck building option for Umbreon GX we are going to discuss is pairing Umbreon with Wobbuffet from the Generations set. While in the active position, Wobbuffet stops the ability of all Pokemon in the game except for Psychic Pokemon, making it a great wall against opposing Shaymin EX and ability-heavy decks. The reason why Umbreon pairs so well with Wobbuffet is because of his first attack, Strafe. Being able to switch the Umbreon out of the active position into a Wobbuffet to disrupt your opponent can be very powerful against many popular decks in the format right now. This also keeps your Umbreon GX safe and away from your opponent's damage for the very first few turns of the game, being able to use Shadow Bullet in relative safety and with minimal threat of a knockout. This version of the deck can also play Espeon GX and Psychic Energy, as Psychic Energy is what Wobbuffet needs to attack should you decide to go that route. Being able to choose your GX attack is again a feature of this deck and will make each round and each game you play with this deck a new experience. Finally, I want to discuss the potential weaknesses of Umbreon GX and the strategies that I have spoken about today. Firstly, Umbreon GX is weak to fighting, a type that is admittedly underrepresented in the Pokemon TCG at the moment, but maybe making a small comeback with Passimian, a fighting type Pokemon also from the Sun and Moon set. Should more cards such as Umbreon GX and many other GX cards from the Sun and Moon set start to see increased amounts of play, there will definitely be times when you will play against fighting type Pokemon at events. Zygarde and Carbink are also fighting type Pokemon that have seen play in the past, and although we are moving away from EXs slowly, Carbink's Safeguard can still do a lot of damage to early EVs and Umbreons. The deck is also reliant on its 4 double colorless energy to carry its main attack, Shadow Bullet, and to be able to attack consistently, it will need to find ways to conserve or recycle special energy. The only other issue that I can see with Umbreon GX in the Sun and Moon format is that it lacks a reliable tool card at this time. We don't know when and how we will be getting Choice Band, a tool card that adds damage against opposing EX and GX Pokemon, and Umbreon GX cannot make use of many other tools. There is potential to use cards like Floatstone specifically, but cards like Assault Vest and Bursting Balloon to hit your opponent back if they attack you early are also options. These cards follow a very specific strategy, however, that may not fit in with anything that we have spoken about today, and lacking a tool in a format with minimal tool removal is going to be difficult. Well guys, that's it for my Umbreon GX video. I've changed around the format a little bit now, and I've been able to cut my voice and add some proper graphics into the video, so hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hope you found this video informative, and hopefully you can put some of these deck building strategies to the test in your own Pokemon circles. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of Umbreon GX and where you see it shining the brightest. My name is Bodhi Cutler, and I will see you guys next time.